The second trailer for the Super Mario Bros. Movie has been dropped, and it's really something to say the least. For this video, I'm going to dive into it, give my thoughts about it, and even go into some of the posters and leaks to see where the movie is going forward. So, let's go! A few months ago, I have given my thoughts on the first Super Mario Bros. Movie trailer, and I thought it looked good outside of a few quirks, and now the second trailer has dropped. And like the first trailer, there was an entire Nintendo Direct shown to reveal this second trailer, and a much shorter Direct than the first one. This one had less of a build-up leading into it, as Miyamoto gives his introduction, and a few of the voice cast has come on, particularly Anya Taylor-Joy and Seth Rogen. And from there, we got the reveal of the second Mario movie trailer, and boy oh boy, there is a lot to unpack. Now, I'll start by getting this part out of the way, and that is Chris Pratt's voice as Mario. He still sounds like Chris Pratt's regular voice. Now, while I pretty much expected that to continue being the case, I was hoping there would be some improvement within his Mario voice and really seeing it more fleshed out. Like, obviously, that Italian accent that Charles Martinet has given to the character wasn't going to be used. But if Chris Pratt gave Mario more of a Brooklyn-sounding accent with possibly some Italian added to it, then I'd probably accept his role as Mario a bit more. But out of everything I heard in his Mario voice, I didn't sense any of that. He still sounds like Chris Pratt's regular voice. The only moments in his Mario voice I somewhat liked was maybe when Mario gave that wahoo sound in the Mario Kart portion of it, but that's pretty much it. Now, do I think that Chris Pratt's voice in the film is going to stop the movie from being good or enjoyable? No, not really. From what I heard, I could probably get used to hearing Chris Pratt's voice in the film. I mean, it's not a deal breaker by any means. I just think they could have done so much better with the casting of Mario's voice, especially when you consider the rest of the voice cast. But I guess they wanted to have a big Hollywood A-lister to further sell the movie to audiences, so I don't know, I guess it is what it is. But there is more to be said with the rest of the voice cast. Like, for instance, this is the first in which we actually get to properly hear what Charlie Day sounds like as Luigi. And man, does he sound fantastic! Like, if you ever watched that clip from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where Charlie talks about Pepe Sylvia, that's basically what Luigi sounds like in this film. And it translates so well with his character. It really captures that rather fearful nature that's been portrayed of the character in certain games like Luigi's Mansion, as well as various pieces of Mario media over the years. It's actually been the main thing throughout Mario's history that has continued to be consistent, and this movie continues with that aspect of Luigi's character. The trailer also shows Princess Peach for the first time, and alongside that, we get to hear what Anya Taylor-Joy sounds like as the character. And well, I'm sort of mixed as it is right now. She seems like she has her moments, but I'm not sure if I'm completely sold, as she seems to come off as rather bland, like she kinda sounds like a more generic female character at times. But that may just be from my current impressions of the trailer that I've seen for the first time. Honestly, I don't even really view her as a bad casting role in the same way that I do with Chris Pratt. I've watched clips of her voice being synced up to Princess Peach, and I could see her working well for the role. Particularly, she has a nice singing voice, which could very well give Peach a little bit of that Disney princess charm to her. So I guess that's something we'd have to wait and see more of her voice as we get closer to the movie's release. But Peach in this movie does seem to have a bit of potential in this film. In fact, in many ways, she actually has a bit more depth to her character than she does in the games. Rather than the same old type of one-dimensional plot of always getting kidnapped by Bowser in every game, she actually seems like she's more of a fighter in this film. In fact, there was even a moment where she pulls out an axe in preparation of Bowser's arrival. Damn! She also seems to train Mario to help fight Bowser, as from what it looks like, she only has an army of Toads who are just too adorable to fight. And if you see what went on with the penguins in the Ice Kingdom, then yeah, Peach clearly could use all the help she could get. Speaking of character depth, I would also say the same about Bowser in this film. While I'm sure Bowser is still going to have some comical side to him, he is being played by Jack Black after all. He actually seems like a more threatening villain than he does in the games. Bowser in the games, well, his goal most of the time is to invade the Mushroom Kingdom and capture Princess Peach. His character, the way we've grown to know him, is mostly cartoonish at best. This is especially true when we see the usage of Bowser Jr. and the army of Koopalings. Now, while I'm sure the movie is taking cues from some of the more modern Mario titles, as there is references to those too, I think they're also looking towards the vision of the more classic Mario titles that came out before the 3D games. Particularly how people back during the NES era would envision Bowser in the original Super Mario Bros., as back during that time, the world would only see him for the 2D sprite that's at the end of each level, how the size and proportion of Bowser is much bigger than Mario is, and so that leaves a lot to the imagination. In fact, we even get some of that in some of the classic Mario artwork. For instance, look at how Bowser looks in this 1985 Japanese artwork. Sure, it's still a little bit on the cartoonish side, but it still has more of that menacing edge that the more modern Bowser doesn't really have as much. And so it seems the movie is looking to capture more of that menacing edge as well. And yeah, it seems that this film is taking cues from some of Mario's classic lore. And a perfect example of that is the moment at the beginning of the trailer where Mario is confronted by Donkey Kong. A moment so good that Shigeru Miyamoto seemed really excited to show that off in the direct, with that and showing some of the renders of Donkey Kong's movie design. And I really like how he looks in the film. It takes cues from Donkey Kong's more classic look and gives him a more modern twist. In fact, much of the movie's design seems to take cues from some of the artwork that is used for the arcade game. There's also some touches from his more modern design that came from the Donkey Kong Country titles included in this, such as the DK tie. And that translates well in what appears to be an adaptation of the original Donkey Kong arcade game, where Mario goes up against DK, and DK, like the big stubborn ape that he is, beats up on Mario. Also, this part of the trailer seems to debunk what I said in my last video, as I've talked about where Mario's origins may have come from in the movie. For those of you who haven't seen it, I recommend you check it out. In one part of the video, I mentioned the possibility that the DK arcade game may be part of Mario's origin story in the movie. My certainty level of that wasn't very high to begin with, but it was just a thought. Well, we get the Donkey Kong arcade adaptation in the trailer, and from the looks of it, that seems to take place after Mario discovers the Mushroom Kingdom, as Peach and Toad are watching from the sidelines. So yeah, definitely not part of Mario's origin story. This doesn't take away from the rest of the speculations that I made in the video that I made last week, where I talk about the possibility of Mario's origins in the film. From what's shown in the trailer and from poster leaks, it seems that part of the speculation that I made in the video isn't that far off, particularly the fact that Mario in the movie may actually come from Brooklyn. Now, one thing that people have also speculated, which actually didn't occur to me until after I just finished up that last video, but it was brought up in the comments, is the possibility that Mario may come not from Brooklyn, but rather from New Donk City, a level that was in Super Mario Odyssey. And prior to this trailer reveal, I would say that that is plausible. But now, going by a few small glimpses of the trailer footage and a few of the leaked posters, it looks like Mario is going to come from Brooklyn in the film, and not New Donk City. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's where my instinct is leading to. And also, the speculation that I made last week about Wrecking Crew serving as an adaptation of Mario's origin story still stands as of right now. I was hoping that we would start seeing the Wrecking Crew aspect of it in the trailer, as well as seeing Form and Spike on screen for the first time, but that has not yet happened. So, if you want to see my speculation on Mario's origin story in the film, check the video out. Minus the Donkey Kong aspect of it, most of what I said in the video still stands, and a few of the posters kind of backs up what I was saying a little bit too. Aside from that, there's also some other references to some of the other Mario games. Yep, can't forget about those. Like, there is one area where Toad takes Mario on a bridge that has a whole bunch of Cheep Cheeps flying out, which happened quite a bit in some of the levels in the original Super Mario Bros. All sorts of flying Cheep Cheeps. And we get references to other areas as well. Like, there's one moment where it looks like we may be seeing Yoshi's Island. I didn't expect Yoshi to show up in any form in the film. I kind of was thinking that maybe they were going to save Yoshi for like a sequel or something, but nope, it looks like we're going to get some part of Yoshi's Island in the film. And there's also a section that references Mario Kart, which is not something I expected at all. In fact, I wouldn't have expected this film to have referenced any Mario spin-off title, but, well, we get something involving Mario Kart, and, well, that is a pretty sweet inclusion. But overall, while I do have some reservations of the film, I'm pretty much looking forward to seeing it. It does have some of that classic lore that is mixed in with some of the modern entries, and it looks like this could be a fun watch. And well, I do plan on seeing this film, probably on opening day. But what do you guys think? Do you look forward to seeing the movie? Is this something you're excited to see? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And while you're at it, subscribe to DSL Media for more content. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time. Have a good one.